Hey everybody, welcome back to another session of Printing's Alive, where we are here to promote print because print is alive. We have a distinguished guest today from the other side of the pond. We have Jeroen from Jubels. Welcome.
Hi there, Warren. How are you?
I am great, thank you. How's everything over on your side?
Well, it's
Always happy
raining.
to have you.
Yeah, it's raining cats and dogs, and I'm sitting at my home in this little town, Edam. You visited me one time on the fair, which
And,
was
and
really funny.
it was probably the best time to visit you,
Yeah, true.
right?
We,
I
we
was
had
even
lots of.
I was traveling with the chicken, and your friends all liked them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the chicken.
The traveling
Yeah.
chicken. So I invited you on as a guest because I wanted to talk about Jubels. I've always thought you've had an awesome company. To me, your specialty is books of all kinds, binding of all kind. I'm sure I know you do some other stuff. But can you give us a little bit of a history? Jubels is it's over 100 years old now, no?
122 years. We started the company in 1902 in Amsterdam.
You don't look that
And
old.
oh, thank you. Well, no, I started my career at Jubels in the 80s, the beginning of the 80s. So that's more than 40 years ago. Started as a calculator, order manager, and that kind of stuff, and became one of the directors. It's still a family-owned business. We work with 30 people in Amsterdam, which is a medium-sized printing company in the Netherlands. May sound funny to you, but the other day I was talking to an American printer, and she said to me, "Well, we're only with 400 people." I said, "Okay, then you have got 400 problems, and I only have 30." Well, and we started the company letterpress, of course, printing birthday announcements, wedding invitation, that kind of stuff. And in the 50s, that became offset printing, and later on, it became copying, printing on Xerox equipment, which we still use, but now it's called digital printing.
Right.
Well, that's what it is. And it started with black and white, and now it's full color with all the extra colors which you can use on digital equipment right now. And yes, we do book printing. And if you see my behind, this is my own library at home, and I got so many books which I still love. It's a habit, so to speak.
It's a passion and a habit.
Passion, yeah, that's really what it is. And I like specialty binding. I like specialty papers, specialty colors to help professional photographers or designers to make the most beautiful books or whatever it is which is printed. That's what I like. That's what I like to do. But on the other hand, you also need some other stuff to produce. So my largest customer is pharmaceutical and retail, where we do personalized labels, and not one, but many millions. And that's where the money comes from to do the specialty printing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I think, well, you know what? I mean, yes, you need all of that, but what's nice is when you say specialty, I think good margin. Like putting all aside, because we're in business, good
Correct.
margin. Pharma used to be really good margin. Now it's good volume with a little bit of margin, right? Because everybody wants it and they get tougher. Let's talk about the books, because when I was there, I got whiplash of my neck because every time I turned my head, I saw another book. I saw another type of binding. I remember there was one binding that we were talking about that you were sending, I don't want to say where, but far away to be binded in a way that only they do it in that country.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Because every printer I know doesn't want to go more than 3 blocks away from their office if they're outsourcing. right? And you're handling and where do you find these customers? And just what about the customers? So many questions.
So many questions. Well, if the customers, well, we have a website, of course, where we expose the things we have been doing over the last years. So that makes sense. We use Instagram to get customers and to showcase our stuff, of course. But if you want to make a good product, a quality product, which stands out above the normal levels, then you do need to do some more. But not only to do some more, you have to ask more money for it as well. So the margins are still for that are good. On the other hand, if you're just producing 100 books or 50 books or sometimes only one, which we do, then a book will be very, very expensive. But if you see what the customer gets, I'll give you an example. I got this photographer who does, together with somebody who writes, who does copy. They investigate in an old, in the history of an old Maserati car, an Italian car, which was built in the late 50s, and there's a restoration plan to make this car brand new. And this customer owns this car, and he put money in it, and the car itself is now worth more than 3 million euros, which is, well, it's a lot of money. But
pocket
they
change.
Also, yeah, pocket change, yes. For us, it's pocket change. Yeah. No way, we're in the graphic arts.
Well, no, 3 million sheets is not 3 million euros.
Correct. But for this owner of this car, this photographer and this copywriter, they investigate in the history of the car and the way the restoration has been done. And we produce a book which is in centimeters, 30 by 30. So it's a spread. It's like when it's spread 60 centimeters, it's got 100 something pages, very special binding, very thread through binding in the spine, with not the normal white threads, but in red, Maserati red.
Wow.
Just for this extra feeling. And then on the hardcover, there's a die stamp in it with the name of the car, the Maserati, and the license plate, which is of the serial number. But we put it in foil, so it's foil, but then you still see the linen press in it. That's right. Something we didn't like, so we engraved in laser on real alloy. We made the serial numbers, and we put with a pin set all the numbers in it, just to have an extra special book. But the book itself is 2,500 euros, plus the photographer, plus the copywriter, plus everything. And this owner says, well, that's his pocket money. So yeah.
That's 0.0000000 of what the total cost was. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, but he's very, very happy with the book, and we do that for the famous shipyards in the Netherlands as well, for the big
the big. Wow.
The
once you're spending $200 million on a super yacht, what do you care about a book?
Yeah, well, now it's a little bit difficult because the Russian people can't afford it anymore.
True, hey? It's funny. It's funny, but it's funny how when that all went down and everything, and then everyone was confiscated, we don't even hear about anything anymore.
No, and we don't know where those vessels are right now.
Wow, that's a great. You know what? That's almost like a bit of a niche market. People who buy special things, who want a history, want a story. They're spending so much money. it doesn't matter what it costs.
No, it's not important. It's what you get for the value for money, and that's what it makes sense. And you got a nice coffee table book which you can show off to your friends. Hey, look, this is my car, and then they do this like this, and they see this beautiful car. And we did a Maserati, we did a Ferrari, we did two Alfa Romeos in the same way.
We should do my Ranger fishing boat.
Yeah, why not?
Make a little book.
I'll ask David, who's the photographer, to come over to
yeah, I'll take him fishing. We'll do some barter. He takes some photos, I'll get him some fish. Right? But you know what? That reminds me, but that's like a Shutterfly and everybody who does those 1-ups, 2-ups, 3-ups books of vacations. Right? It's a good feeling. And people don't mind. I've been at somebody's house where, of course, I look at all the print, I look at the coffee table, I look at all the books, and you have people like I don't know, Tom Ford, that designer, and he's selling books for $300, $400, nice case bound, nice, fabric covers, 200 pages, whatever, just sitting on the coffee table.
Yeah. I just bought a book. I just bought a book about Pantone matching colors, which was written in the 1600s. And it's a facsimile a published book in a quantity of 1100, and it's a very tiny book. It's bound in leather. It's like 700 pages. It's written in Dutch, in our language, and it was found in the Provence in France, and they reproduced it in 1100 copies. I just bought it for €300. So
wow,
but it's nice when there's a nice box around it, and it's only about colors which were used in the 1600s. So it's nice to have and to show it to my customers that color is still very important, and
not only important, but how far back it originated multiple colors.
Yeah.
Right? Because most people don't know about when they were making, the stencil machines for the newspaper pages that they were running around, or the blocks with the letters in the old days.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's amazing. I mean, print is really, what I love what you do is you touch all that stuff. You're still, aside from your pharma work, you're still in the craft of book printing.
Yeah. That's correct. It's craftsmanship, as they say, combined with modern technology and a modern way of producing the things. So we're not producing in lead anymore. Sometimes we use lead because of letterpress and that kind of stuff, but most of these things are printed in digital.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, digital is just enough. I didn't like in our industry when we had printing, and then they called it offset and commercial, and then they started identifying it as digital. To me, print is print. We print, correct, and what we print on is no one's real concern.
No,
right? You're working with some designers. You can give them the scale of where they can go on either side, or how far they could push things. And beautiful thing with digital, or if you're using, the multiple colors, and you have like a Mark Jeeves with color logic that allows you to take the gamut even farther, then that's a bonus. But even that, we still got to charge the customer, because it's the experience that goes into that. It's our learning. It's our edge. I always use this example. The lawyer, or the liar, depends, but I'm allowed to call him what I want if I'm paying my bills. $400, $500, $600, $700 an hour, because they knew the law and they went to school 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. We're buying new technology. We're buying equipment that requires funds and upgrades. And for the most part, our industry is not getting their value. Like, we don't get our dollars worth. Whose fault is that? It's our fault. It's all our fault. We set the tone, right?
Well, our customers, not our customers, but I think most of the customers think that our advice, our professional advice, when they talk to us, that's for free. And then they can, when they want 10,000 copies of something or whatever, then that advice needs to be in that quote, which I think is not fair. If you want to talk to me and Warren, you're a friend, so this one is free. But
thanks.
Yeah, thanks. And I'm not charging as a lawyer right now, but sometimes, why not charge $200 for or euros for an hour advice? Why not? And when I got customers, I got customers who were first. No, let me rephrase that. We sometimes do lunch and learn sessions for students of the university, graphic arts university, and so on. And then they come, can you print my portfolio? And we can do specialty paper, specialty this, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I can. But my starting is only, is not less than 500 euros. Oh, and what do I get for 500 euros? Nothing. Just my advice. And then you can take it or leave it. And sometimes they say, yes, okay, that's what I want. And sometimes not. It's fine with me, because my time is not for free.
Oh, it's funny you say that. So I had someone who, I get a lot of calls from a lot of different people who like to meet people or do something, or just because I know a lot of people. I wish I remembered everyone's names. And I get a call from a print person who says, hey, I know you know this person. I'd like to get in there. If you can get me the call and get me in there and we do the deal, then I would give you this. And I said to him or them or they, I don't know who to call what anymore. I said, cool. I said, appreciate the call. I go, but let me tell you how it really works. You're going to give me $500 to make the call. That's my fee for making the call. If you close the deal and make it happen, you will pay me the difference. And he says, well, I'm not used to paying people up front. I said, you pay your lawyer for everything he does. You're calling me for a professional opinion. You're calling me for a lead. I know I'm going to get you the call, but I don't want to rely on you to make the deal to get paid that way.
Yeah.
I said, so when you go somewhere and you buy a car, you don't walk out of there with anything for free. Anywhere you go, it's not free. Why would it be free for me? Yeah. And I think that, like you said, we as printers offer advice. So yeah, we can give a little bit here and there, but we should be charging for every sample we make. If the customer gives you the order, credit them back the couple $100, whatever. Doesn't matter. But
I'm charging my pharmaceutical customers always two prices, one for the production and one for project management. So I'm splitting it.
It's like the ad agencies.
Yeah.
And even the ad agencies, they don't do as much print maybe as they used to, but even then it was okay for them to mark it up 30 and 40 points our work.
Yeah.
Right? Even now, kind of infuriates me, but the print buying groups like an HH Global, all they do is beat us down to get the work. They keep our margin, and then they charge their customer a fee for managing it.
Yeah.
And then every year they got to show some profit, so they got to try to beat us down some more.
Yeah.
And it makes me crazy. I want us as an industry to take ownership back of our industry. We do R&D. We spend a lot of money. And we need to get and when we talk like this, by the way, we don't talk about all the good, great, amazing companies out there that are doing the right thing and more people kind of like yourself. But I want to talk to more people like you and the others, so that the other people that aren't doing it or charging could hear and start to feel a little bit more comfortable and maybe push the envelope a little.
If every printer does what we are doing, then my work will be less, how you call that? Stupid. I don't know the word.
It's a translation issue. You're thinking in another language.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm trying to be an advocate for high quality work. I try to do my work in a different way than others. And I think if everybody does that, or more companies do it in the same way, then my work will be less less important, then we're on the same level. That would be nice, not for me maybe, but I think for everybody, if the rest of the industry does make money, it's good for the industry as a whole.
Right, but I think it'd be nice for you if you're making your money and you see people are starting to do what you're doing, but raising the level, right? Then you're creating the change.
I need to raise the level because of the companies who work 24/7 on their very large 8-color presses with all the computerized things on it. They need to do the big volumes, and we only can do the smaller volumes and the specialty volumes or specialty papers, instead of only on a gloss 135 grams GSM paper and only printing this for 24 hours. I can't cope with that, and I don't want to.
Oh my God, you go crazy. It's just monotonous. You're just going like you're just watching the sheets go.
Yeah, I was talking in the Corona situation where this very large 24/7 online printer was producing very much print work, and he lost over the month more than 60% of his turnover in 1 month. So what can I print? What can I? Yeah. And we have been printing every day. Not as much as we wanted, but it was good.
Yeah, I mean, and those big online 24 hours, I mean, to me, those are unique customers. They're getting what they get, right? Yeah. They take, I mean, I personally like, when it comes to print, I like to deal with people. I like to see, I like to know that
and to feel and to touch the paper.
So I personally went online not long ago and did my first online ordering for print, because I had a customer who had, there was the book I went online. Actually, the book I went online to get quotes because I wanted to do a comparison, so I wanted to do a comparison, and I didn't want to call and speak to companies because I didn't want to waste people's time knowing I was doing a comparison. So I went online to do it, and even that was rather interesting, because first thing I noticed is not everybody has all the same weights of paper, and you would think that they would all be standardized, but they're not. Some you were able to do a little bit more options than others. Some keep it very simple, very standard. The pricing was reasonable, within the range that to me was acceptable. If I went with the highest or the lowest, it was still all good. Out of 9 people, 7 people that I called, 3 people followed up. So I did a post to the owner saying, why are you not following up? I was doing a test. He who followed up, one of the 3 who followed up got the job.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Right?
And you do some work for them, you're quoting, and that takes time. And if you don't follow up, then you lose the job anyway.
But aside from the book, because I ended up knowing the printer, because for that I had to, because it's me. But when I was doing the stuff for the client, I had the worst experience online. I hated it. I hated every aspect and every click, from this to this to this, and I wanted to say something, and I couldn't. Who do I say it to? And can't really write it out. Yeah, you could write it, but it doesn't sound the same as. And I was just like, oh my! And then I realized, you know what? You're buying online. You're buying sight unseen. You're buying eye-pleasing color. You get what you want. You get what you get. Truth is, all the equipment today is pretty good, right? Like it all doesn't matter. Canon, DX, and that's not Twitter. Or Fuji, all the equipment out there is all good. It's just the person finding what's best for them.
Yeah.
Right. But then it comes down to the company and dealing with you. And if you deal with some of these big companies, I used to tell people, you want to go online, you pay up front, you get what you get. Come to me, you're going to pay a little more. But when you got a problem, you can scream and swear at me. You could feel good after. Right. Because when you got a problem with the online people, nobody cares. Go find somebody.
Yeah, correct.
But it's a whole... But it's all about value. I made more money when I was doing less volume than when I did bigger volume. and you get caught up in the top line. Top line's ego, bottom line runs the business. That's what I found. We have a slight freeze there. Oh, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back. So it's all about margin. We all have to make money. If we don't make money, we can't invest in our business. We can't invest in our people. It's not rocket science, right? And our customers, you should be able to have some conversations with your customers if they're pushing the pricing issue, right? Yes. I like to have, how many people today, if any, have new customers come in and walk them around so that they can understand the steps and the processes and the amount of people involved or the amount of equipment involved in producing a job. You want them to understand that it's not an overnight. And even that's gone away.
How much fun is it to show a customer in your facility? To go to your showroom or what I call my innovation room with all the books I have, and you know how much I have. How much fun is it to go to the printers and to go to the letterpress station and to the binding station and to show what's possible, and that makes so much fun. And you know what the best part of is the letterpress station where you see the old Heidelberg. That's
everybody has
the windmill. That's what they like most.
Everybody, and you know what? That's the one machine that was made that Heidelberg could say outlasts everything.
Yeah,
because it will not die. The other thing I like about having people come in is not only for the people to see the process and get a better understanding. I like the people working in the place and the equipment to meet the customers.
Correct. Yeah.
For the customer to say, oh my, I love the last job you did. And then you watch the people smile so that they get some feedback. I mean, I used to get comments from customers and I would come right back to the office all the time and gather people and tell them what was said. So that it's not just a regular job for them.
Yeah, we just, a couple of weeks ago, we did a poem book with poems, and it's about a lady, her mom died or whatever, and she was talking to my print operator in the press room, and his mother died also recently, and they had a 50 minutes or an hour talk to each other about this book. That's crazy, but that's what you mean by people talking to people, working with people.
And he doesn't know it, but he's selling the next job for you.
Indeed, yeah.
She now has a relationship and a common feeling. Yeah, it's really print. When people say what's print about? Print's about people. Print's about people. Print's about emotion. Right? And emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, every picture I print out of me with a fish just makes me smile.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like, I only go fishing so I can take pictures and print them out. So it's cool.
I'm sorry. I don't know if this is what you see, but this is also print, but this is a ticket for speeding.
I would take out mine and match yours, but I left it in the car because I'm waiting for the notice before I pay it. Is it? Everything's printed, good or bad.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Your birth certificate is printed, as is your death certificate.
My birth certificate is on a tile.
It's on a tile?
Yeah. That's My mother made a tile of it many, many years ago.
Oh, that's funny. So, two things. One thing for sure, I want to talk about or ask about what's your thoughts on sustainability?
Yeah.
And your thoughts are, do you follow it? Do you believe the messaging? Do your customers want sustainability? Do they want it because they believe it or because they're pushing a button?
Well, it's all about regulations, of course. But on the other hand, sustainability and to give this earth to our children and our grandchildren and so on. So you need to do something. So we have on our facility, we have more than 400 solar panels. We produce our own electricity. Our building is we use as much gas for our heating as a normal standard house in the Netherlands, because we are so much. We got very thick walls and specialty glass to prevent heat coming in and heat going out. We're not using air conditioning, and if we're not having enough power, then we have green wind power to do the rest. All our papers are FSC, and I think that 25% right now is circular paper, so it's recycled. Sometimes they want it to be the gray, old recycled look and feel, but you can have it bright white if you like, and you can have that in a gloss or a matte or a silk situation. So I think 25% is already being circular. And paper itself is very sustainable. You can use it 7 to 9 times, and the last times is going to be used on the restrooms, if you like.
I was going to say on the roll. So I have a question. so I have a question. You're obviously FSC certified, or PEFC or SFI.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
Is it important for our customers? No, it's not. Only for certain customers, like government, they want to be
right.
But normal customers, no, it's not important.
Right. So my question is, should those organizations be charging printers audit fees to come in?
Yes.
And is there any benefit?
Yes. The audits in Holland for FSC is more than 2,500 euros per year.
Okay, it's $4,000 here.
So that's I think that's a ridiculous kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's the same for ISO, for standardization. What is it? ISO 9001 or whatever.
Right.
And all those things. Well, we have a book of complaints, if you like. You can, and we know how to use that. But is it really important that you have a certificate that it's all done by the rules? And the rules itself can be, if you prepare swim fests, when live fests, where but you can make live fests where you still can drown. But if you are certified, then this is what you make: live fest, which makes you drown.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, and I ask because the FSC organization, I'm all for it. Everything in the forest and whatever they do, because that's at the manufacturing stage of the raw material. I'm just against, and I'm trying to get a movement, I'm against printers having to pay to be certified. When the paper comes in a box, it gets cut and it goes on a press. Yeah. Who cares what color the docket is? And why do you got to send paper in so they can make sure that you put the right paper? No one cares if it's laminated after or any finishing goes on it. They don't care if it was delivered in a diesel truck, right? So once it's done.
No, that's not true. That's not true. When you have, I'm investigating right now to when I make a quotation, then I can. I can, but I'm not doing it right now because I need to pay a fee for that. But I'm investigating if my customers do want it. I can tell every customer on every order they gave how much CO2 we're using. So that means that I get certificates from the paper mills, where the paper mills are, and then indeed the truck ride from the paper mill to the printer or to the warehouse is calculated, etc., etc. It can be done, and I think for the EU with the regulations which are far more further than on your side of the pond. I think the bigger companies, like the companies with more than a turnover of 200 million, I guess it was 200 million, needs to have a report next year about their CO2 emissions.
Right.
And when they have that as a rule, then it always drops down to the smaller company. So I think I need to do that in a certain way.
Okay,
But
so,
then
well,
again,
right
I
now,
need to pay for that as well.
well, so right now, what I'm referring to really is right now, right here. I haven't heard of one customer asking for any carbon footprint and how much of this, of how much of that. I think a lot of them are happy to know they're buying FSC paper. They're happy to know that the printer is using the best inks. First of all the manufacturers are making the best that they can, because it starts at the top, right? And if everyone's doing the best they can, it comes to us. I just don't believe that we should be paying $4,000 a year to submit a docket or be able to put a logo that nobody wants on their piece. The FSC stops at the door when the paper comes in. They're not auditing us for the work we're doing. They're not auditing us for our chemicals. Correct. Or anything. So when I add up all the printers times 4,000, it's $100 and something million leaving the print industry that maybe printers we should take and put into an education fund. Not that anyone's going to follow me and do that, but I'm just trying to be creative. And then also there's like, some bureaucracy with the companies that have multiple plants. They're not all certified. They get a blanket certification for the corporation, and then they get some odd plants checked every year, the odd one. So I just think the rules are not solid. And for that, we shouldn't have to pay. And for the smaller companies, it's a lot of money. That aren't dealing with the customers. If you have a customer that demands it and warrants it, no problem. But otherwise, I just think it's pushed down our throat a little. And everyone's kind of giving me a lot of the same stuff. Everyone obviously online treads delicately because they don't know who's going to listen and who's what. But, I want to save the planet. But, hey, I always turn around and say, what about Bitcoin and what about the electric cars? Lithium batteries, mining. The youngins don't talk about that when they save the environment.
No, correct.
Just straws and water bottles.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, so I'm going to ask this because you are in it. We were doing it. We've been to a lot of places the same. All of this embellishment in the world of print, be it extra colors, gamuts, digital foils, how relevant is it for everyone, if you think or not? Is it something every printer should have, needs to have? Do you think every customer has a need for it? Does everyone need fluorescent pink or orange?
No, I don't think so. Well, you were one of the guys who had an iGen way before. Like myself, with all the extra colors, the greens and the orange and so on. We never used green. We never used blue. I'm only using orange as it's our national color.
For one customer?
Yeah. No, I got 3 or 4 customers.
But yes.
But no, it's not that important. Sometimes it's funny to use fluorescent pink for tickets and for specialty posters or something like that. But I'm using gold and silver on a regular basis, but the rest is not really important. No.
Yeah, and I'm asking that because, first of all, I am a lover of print. I'm a lover of embellishment. I'm a lover of high quality, right? But with that comes a cost. And I set myself up to do a lot of that, only to find out that there wasn't as many people willing to pay for it. So I just want the printers out there that are thinking about it, looking at it, to really try to ask all the right questions, and not with the OEMs, but with their own customers, their own staff, and make sure that they have a need or have a plan for it, so that when they get it, it doesn't sit there and then they flip out, because it gets very expensive to sit there if you're not using it.
No, and
right?
you need to charge for it.
And you need to, personally, I could not sell. I used the blue, I used the orange, and I used the green for my own promo stuff. I could not sell one sheet at an extra charge to anybody on it then.
Well, I'm doing many years ago when we started with the extra colors in the iGen. I used the orange, and we for a financial for a bank which is the orange is their color. And
everybody knows the bank. That's their branding worldwide.
Well, still ING. Yeah, we did a series of books where on circular paper on a gray recycled stock, and the first two books we did on a normal CMYK iGen, and then I showed them the newer one. So we had to redo the first two books.
Oh, perfect. So there was a win-win.
There was a win-win.
I just want the printers that are listening. I'm not trying to discourage doing more. I actually encourage doing more. What I discourage is doing more without doing your homework to know where you need to be. Because when you put the machine in, and even if you get 3 months free, which I don't think they do anymore, it goes real quick, and 30 days rolls around when the payments come.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's staff, and then there's everything. What I would actually suggest to a lot of people is if you want to dabble in it, have your OEM give you one of their customers that they're selling, team up in the short term with the other printer who's doing it. I'm sure he'd be happy to have the work, even knowing you're planning to buy your own one day, because while you're doing that, he could look for other business and build it up. It's a win-win.
That's what we do. That's what we do in the same way. I'm still selling offset, but I'm buying that. I'm sourcing that. Not the book binding, the specialty binding. I'm not doing it by myself. And if there's if we need a book binder which is in Switzerland, which we have done, then we use the guys in Switzerland, which is 1,200 kilometers away. Why not? So you do it. You team up with the best possible way. And if you have more work in that space, then you can do it by yourself. But first, make your own market. Yeah?
Or you make a better deal for the volume with the person. Because
exactly.
So the other thing I've learned is, because we used to do a lot of stuff, we used to give a lot of stuff out. We used to give a lot of die cutting out. We dealt with a person that had 5 die cutters. If I had 1 die cutter, I'd still be in trouble. I couldn't get it out. And the other thing I've learned is with a lot of the trade people and some other people is they have the best skilled people doing it. So even though you want to put a machine in, if you have a human resource issue and you can't find the person and you put anyone on there, you got to factor in the cost of not doing it right all those times.
Yeah.
So that you don't lose your shirt, because it's very easy to lose the consumables, and all of those embellishments are really what kills you. Aside from the cost of the machine, everything adds up real quick. So I love it. If you're listening, just do your homework. If you want to know what to do, you could reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you, for a fee, of course. Because nothing's free in life, right? Yep. And that's what we have to push. Are you guys? Where are you heading in the future aside from to Spain? Any equipment? Any ideas? Anything new you want to tell anyone about, or just whisper to me?
Well, I'm negotiating right now, but I can't reveal it for now. What I just said. Last year we bought a new CRM where this add-on can be placed with the CO2. I'm just thinking, do I need to do that? Do I need to do it? And for the rest, I'm 65 years old. I look younger.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be 1 or 2 years or whatever. As long as I like my job. I like to talk to customers. I like to talk about print. Then I'm fine. But that's what we're going to do. I really don't know yet. Yeah. Besides going to Spain.
Right. Well, no, you worked hard and long enough. You deserve it.
Thank you very much.
You know what? It's first of all, time flies quickly as I look at the time here. But you guys I think are awesome. I think you're one step ahead in terms of thinking and, the processes you do. And I love that it's just more about the feel and the look. Yeah, you need the volumes to do business, but somewhere in there, just to have the book part of your business, oh my God, it just makes everybody smile.
Yes.
And then when it's just not that volume stuff, but it's pretty good. So last thing, just to touch on, what's the human situation where you are in terms for work or people or education? Is it as hard there as it is everywhere else to find people?
Yep. We've been looking for an order manager for the last 1.5 years.
Wow.
And just 3 months ago, we got a guy beginning 60 years old. So he still needs to work 7 years. So we hired him. And it's good to have people who are, how you call that? They have their skills over the last 40 years. So they know what they are talking about and they know what to do. That makes it less hard. But on the other hand,
they're like craftspeople almost, right?
Exactly. But this industry needs younger people, and this industry needs women. And not only because not only that we like the women, but I think it's good to have women on board and to
well, first of all, I don't want them to come back and bite me in the ass, but they add some finesse. They are better at doing certain things than we are. They are more emotional but less emotional.
Correct.
Right?
We can talk about that a little later, but
well, I don't want to talk anymore about that online. But no, but I totally agree with you. I think we have to. I'm actually on my podcast. I want to have all kinds of young people on, talk to them. I want people that are in the business. I want to know why they're in it, what brought them in it, what keeps them, because we need to talk to others. I also think that we're in an old industry where there still is a lot of old thinking going on.
Craftsmen.
Yeah, but even management, right, or whatnot. And I've had somebody say to me, "Hey, maybe you could help. We can't seem to keep the young people in our place." And I'm like, he goes, "What would you suggest?" I said, "You stop talking to them, right? Because the guy talks to them, and then like I know from my kids, I know from friends' kids, because hang out a little bit. If you're going to listen, you're going to ask. You have to follow up with something.
Yeah,
you have to come back and say something so that they know you heard them." And you got to make some change. And we talk about change, and then we don't make the change, right? There's still, I was trying to just get something, a little group together, and everyone I looked at the list was all men. And I'm like, somebody find me some women in here. I said, because number one, I'm not even giving out the right message if I'm sitting with all of you guys, right? I'm creating that wall of whatever. I don't even know. I don't want to say exclusivity because it ain't exclusive to you with a bunch of men. But we need to bring them in. We need to talk more. We need to do things. People in our industry aren't getting dirty anymore, right? It comes in canisters. The binding has 200 preset folds on it. You're not taking paper. You don't even get paper cuts because you don't have to take the paper fold and have to put it on the little clip for your thickness. It's like we are a video game. So we need management, big companies and small, to embrace it a little more, right? When I had the business, there was a vocational school in my area. Once or twice a year, I had the graduating class come for tours, and I break them up. Why? You take that position in the community of helping people learn and opening up. B, if I'm doing that and there's somebody in that room, in that group, that's great. I'd like to have first crack at inviting them to come over and work for us. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you don't know where anybody goes. I would give everyone a portfolio at the end on the company and say, hey, keep it anywhere you go. Call me for print. So I'm always selling. While I'm trying to sell the good upside and help people, I'm trying to think of myself and sell. I remember I had one student say, oh my God, my parents already buy from you. And I'm like, good. Okay, how cool is that?
Yeah.
So I think one of our biggest challenges, when we have a lot of challenges, is the people. But that's going to take, again, it's the leadership and the top of the companies that are going to set the initiatives in the way they want for the messaging they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in Holland we have graphic art schools, and many years ago, they produced offset printers, how to print in offset like that. The last 5 years, there was no printer education anymore.
Wow.
Doesn't exist anymore. And then the graphic arts school became multimedia, and they design games, computer games, and nice websites and that kind of stuff. But they forgot about print.
And I will say this,
that's what needs to change.
Well, I'll say this, and I always say it. The world cannot function without print.
Correct.
No signage, no medicine, not even instructions if you're going to buy bombs and drop them. There's print on the bombs. There's print everywhere, right? Yeah. No, but I'm right. I'm just, maybe bombs is a bad example this time in the world, but you know what? Screw it. It's everywhere, print, and it's not going away. It might be changing. When people say print is dead, I'm assuming they're talking about business cards, letterhead, and envelope, because signage is on a rise, packaging's on a rise, mailing is good. Well, it's good for some, maybe not for others. We just need it, and print's emotion.
This mailing is not good, eh? That's a fine.
No. Tickets are never good. It's the one printed piece I actually despise.
Exactly.
Right? and that's where they should think about the trees and not waste paper. Right? And around here it's worse because it's NCR paper still. So you get like you get some give you singles, and then others, depending where you are.
Well, you know, I sometimes I live in Spain, and when you get a fine in Spain and you pay within 14 days, then you can deduct it by 50%.
No way.
That's correct. Yes.
Move to Spain.
Yes.
I can make money.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like going to shop. That's like going to shop when everything's on sale. You're making money, right?
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. Okay, so before we end this, anything you want to add? Final words to your customers, my viewers, just anything?
I should say, go listen to this guy, Warren. He knows a lot. And if he doesn't know what to say, then he's going to ask me or one of his friends to help him out. Well, like Warren said, he's not free in cost, but I'm not free as well.
No, but you know what you get when you pay us? You get a savings down the road where you will not make some mistakes and spend the same amount of money with zeros and commas that I made. And like I said to one person, I was talking to one printer, and he said, well, why do I want to work with you? I said, well, judging from what I see, if you don't work with me, you're going to be sitting on the same side of the desk as me, trying to help somebody else down the road. I want to help avoid that. Anyways, I can't thank you enough always for your time and the conversation, because it's always great. And I think it's easier to have conversations when you're like-minded in the love and passion for print. So you got that. To everybody, I hope you made it to the end. It's always important to get to the end. If you got to the end, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please leave them. If you'd like to see anything on my show, please let me know. If you'd like to be on my show, please let me know. If you got a customer that has a story, I want to talk to them. If you have a friend, if you have an employee, if you know anybody in print who has anything to say, I want to talk to them. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you again soon.